Handing a child their first smartphone is a major milestone, but for parents, that milestone arrives packaged with an immediate, heavy dose of anxiety. The device itself is mostly harmless glass and metal, but it acts as a portal to unseen threats. Teenagers are suddenly exposed to algorithms engineered to influence their emotional states, and social media platforms that artificially shape their developing identities. To manage these threats, this diagram shows the broken binary parents are handed. On the far left, you have option A, total surveillance. On the far right, option B, providing absolutely no tools or rules at all. The space between them is completely empty. This forces a toxic compromise on families. Parents have to choose between violating their child's privacy to ensure physical safety or preserving their trust while leaving them entirely unprotected against predatory algorithms. Traditional parental control apps operate almost entirely through content surveillance. They read private text messages, scan personal photo libraries, and flag specific keywords for review. The psychological damage of this approach is severe. It erodes the parent-child relationship and actively teaches young people that their privacy is highly conditional and must be hidden. The alternative zero rules approach fails just as poorly. Leaving a teenager to manage their social media habits completely alone isolates them. They're forced to navigate billion-dollar attention engineering systems without any guidance. Both extremes fail for the same underlying reason. The internet economy treats user data as a commodity. Because of that, the tools currently available are built for extraction and control, rather than nurturing human development. Healthy digital development cannot be achieved by spying on a teenager, nor can it be achieved through abandonment. It requires active, mutual collaboration between parents and their children. To fill the massive void between surveillance and abandonment, a new category of technology is emerging. It is called a family agreement platform, and the first of its kind is a product called MyChoice. This logic model shows how MyChoice separates private content from behavioral signals. It never reads messages, stores photos, or exposes conversations. Instead, it analyzes metadata patterns, like message timestamps or volume, without revealing content, identifying sudden shifts in digital routines. This mathematical abstraction addresses the friction between safety and privacy. By focusing on the shape of digital activity rather than the words used, parents gain awareness of their child's well-being without accessing their private life. Families interact with this data through a central dashboard. Rather than imposing arbitrary restrictions, the system monitors patterns based on custom agreements the family sets together, like expected sleep hours or healthy social media usage limits. The platform uses a simple visual language for behavioral shifts, categorizing signals into 3 states: aligned, attention, and crossed. If a teenager experiences a sudden increase in late-night messaging and unknown contacts, the system recognizes the shift. The dashboard then alerts the parents to this specific behavioral drift. They are given the insight to step in and check on their child, all without revealing a single word of the actual conversations. Look at this timeline slider to see how the platform adapts longitudinally. Parents can set and enforce tight, strict boundaries for a 10-year-old. Then, as the teenager grows, they can gradually widen those boundaries to grant more autonomy. MyChoice avoids being a static, rigid set of rules. It acts as a dynamic timeline of trust that evolves exactly as real human relationships should. Teenagers receive their own version of the dashboard, designed to work alongside the parental view. The teen dashboard translates their data into neutral insights. By objectively highlighting things like an increase in late-night screen time, the platform encourages self-reflection rather than handing down a punishment. This design stems from a broader philosophical framework called EgoGentix. It is a technological movement focused entirely on creating AI systems that respect human emotional development. The core premise of EgoGentix is that a person's digital identity and personal context must be owned entirely by the individual. It should never act as a commodity for tech platforms. This stands in direct contrast to the current ad-driven internet. In the EgoGentix model, personal behavioral data is treated as protected, private infrastructure, rather than a resource to be mined by third parties. Technology will inevitably continue to shape the next generation, But by utilizing tools that foster collaboration and self-awareness over surveillance, families can stop raising digital adversaries and start raising digitally resilient adults.